living. So whether you're heading to the beach or the pool or anywhere to cool off during this heat wave, sunscreen is a must. There are so many choices, even a new FDA-approved one. How do you know which sunscreen is right for you? Here to break down what to look for and what to avoid and how to keep your skin healthy all summer long is dermatologist Dr. Robert Finney. It's always great to see you.
Great to see you as well. Thank you for having me back.
Of course, you are very knowledgeable. So there's so many different sunscreens out there. Before we get into all of them, what exactly is this new FDA-approved sunscreen?
So it is called bemotrizinol, and essentially the other name that it's going to go by is Parasol Shield for the first 18 months. But what it is the first FDA-approved sunscreen ingredient that has come out in the last 25 years. They haven't approved any. That's why our cosmetic formulas have lagged behind Europe, Korea. People go over there, they stock up on these great sunscreens, and we can't get them here, right, because of the filters. So now we finally have another filter. Why people should care: one, it is one of the best broad spectrum blockers of UV, both A and B. And then two, again, it's going to increase the cosmetic elegance of our products and let us get a little bit closer to those other sunscreens.
Okay.
So it is not a sunscreen product, though. It is an ingredient. You'll have to turn the package around, look for active ingredients. Probably the earliest you'll see any products with this is August, because it just got approved. They're going to have to formulate it, and then the FDA is going to have to test that product before it launches. So a step in the right direction, maybe not for this summer, but definitely for the future.
For the future. Yeah. Fantastic. All right, now that we've set the table, what are the overall things that we should be looking for in a sunscreen?
So the first and the most important, SPF 30 or higher. Not to bring up math this early in the morning, but it's a logarithmic curve, if you remember from calculus. And once you get to 30, you're near the top of that curve. You go to 50 or 100, you're not getting much extra protection. You go below 30, it really falls off a cliff. So 30 or higher, broad spectrum. The second and tougher one to differentiate is something that you like putting on your skin. If you do not like putting it on your skin, it's not going to get on there, right? Consistency is key. So for me, on a daily sunscreen, I need something that's extremely lightweight, oil-free, feels like I'm wearing nothing, essentially. Now that I'm in my 40s and already got a few gray whiskers, I need something that's not going to contribute to a white cast in there. So it's got me even more difficult. But in doing so, that is not going to be sweat or water resistant. So if I'm active, I need to look at the label and make sure that it says sweat or water resistant, because if you don't and you take that daily sunscreen to the beach, you're going to get torched.
You're going to get torched.
That's the more important.
I'm going a little bit off script, but you have facial hair, and and I do not.
Yes.
It never occurred to me men should be putting it on their facial hair, even if they have like a full beard.
If you have a full thick beard, you can't see through.
I mean, if you're Duck Dynasty, maybe not. But
exactly, but if you're a little bit patchy, I mean, you can see my skin through here, right? I get a little protection from the hair, but not a ton. Same way, you know, in your part, you can get burned, right? So you should be putting it in there. Ideally, a daily facial sunscreen will also make it to your neck and your ears. Low-hanging fruit, an extra 5 seconds. But yes, sunscreen in the beard area, tougher to find.
Sorry, that was a question that needed an answer. Okay, back to the sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens, good, bad, yes, what are they?
They're good. The best one is the one that you'll wear. You know, there's a lot of, unfortunately, noise out there about chemical sunscreens. You know, there's a reason that the FDA tests and makes sure that, things in high concentrations in your bloodstream, if they're harmful. So they do that testing, but just proving that it's in your bloodstream, we've gotten really good at detecting trace amounts, and there's no evidence that it causes any problems. UV from the sun is a known carcinogen. So protect your skin from the sun. If you're not going to be in the sun, you don't need to put it on. But if you're going to be in the sun, do the thing that's going to protect you from the cancer that we know it's going to cause.
That's right. Okay. Sounds very, very like a lot of common sense.
Yes.
Somehow we lack it. When we see that bright orb in the sky, we're like, oh, yay. Formula, spray versus cream, does it actually make a difference?
It does. I think there's more user error with sprays and sticks because they still require you to spread them in a little bit, whether you're getting enough of the product on there. If you're spraying aerosols in your face, I mean, you're going to be huffing ingredients. That's not good. So I think creams are obviously the easiest to rub in and know that you got the areas. That being said, if you're good with the others, it's fine. Again, it's really just that you're getting it on there. And where people fail is reapplication. It needs to go on every 2 hours. If you sweat or you swim, it's got to go back on. So pick the one that fits your skin and the one that you'll use, but it just it doesn't matter.
I just remember my boys being itty bitty, and I would slather their faces, and I'd be chasing them around with the spray.
The spray's easier to chase, it gives you a little bit of a barrier there.
But the face, it was the slathering the cream.
Tough.
Okay, we know wearing sunscreen, we should be doing it every day, but there are some people who need to make sure that they really know what they're doing. Talk to me about who should be doing extra work in the sunscreen department.
I don't think anybody should be doing extra work. Just do the appropriate work. If you have daily sun exposure, put on a daily sunscreen. If it's been longer than a couple of hours you've been out, reapply it. You know, there are a lot of patients who come in for anti-aging treatments, whether it's Botox, fillers, lasers,
microdermabrasion,
peels,
all the thing,
and you know, that means that they care about aging, right? So first, protect yourself from skin cancer. You get a skin cancer on your face, it's going to be a pretty gnarly scar. Second, the #1 cause that contributes to visible signs of aging from the world is UV. Protect your investment, right? If you're not doing that, you're going to be seeing me a lot more for more procedures, more treatments in order to correct the damage. Preschool in New York is expensive, so keep coming, but be smart, save your money, protect your investment.
But be smart. That is exactly right. They make some beautiful bronzers out there if you want that healthy glow.
Spray tans, all the things. Don't anything with Max after it.
That's right.
Steer clear.
That's right. It's always great to see you. Thank you.
You
Very, very knowledgeable. For more skincare and dermatological information, that was a big market word right there, dermatological.
I love that.
Follow the doctor on Instagram at Robert Finney, MD.